Hello everyone, I'm Shivai Lamba and I'm going to be presenting my talk for BellPy 2021. And my talk title is An Introduction to Web Development Machine Learning, specifically using TensorFlow.js, where I'm specifically going to be talking about using the TensorFlow.js converter to convert Python-based machine learning-based models into JavaScript-based so that you can use them with your web applications or any kind of application running JavaScript. So I hope that you enjoy this talk, which will be covering about TensorFlow.js and how you can also use TensorFlow.js converter to convert machine learning based models written in Python into JavaScript based embeddings. So I hope you like and feel free to ask me questions after the end of this talk. So the first thing that I'll be covering is what exactly is an introduction or like what exactly is TensorFlow.js. So originally it was created as deeplearning.js, and TensorFlow.js is an open source machine learning based library that has been written by the TensorFlow team working at Google to actually provide you access to machine learning based models directly in JavaScript so that the web developers can also use machine learning based projects in JavaScript. Now, typically, till now, what was the scenario was that in case web developers using JavaScript, if they had to inculcate machine learning in their applications, they might have to host their machine learning based model on a Python based server, for example, on Flask or Django, and utilize that. So TensorFlow.js was specifically built for such kind of people because a lot of the web developers who might be very good at JavaScript might have only used JavaScript as their main language of choice, and there is an additional dependency that comes in if they had to learn, let's say, Python for just deploying a machine learning based model. With a TensorFlow.js, you can just remove that dependency altogether, and you can directly host and create TensorFlow based models or machine learning based models directly written in JavaScript. And you can basically, it has mainly two different APIs. For example, the cores and layers, which we'll be talking about a bit later. But you can actually build new models from it and also retrain existing ones. There are some existing models that have been converted specifically from Python to TensorFlow JS, and you can directly use them in JavaScript. And then it uses the computer's GPU or the WebGL that we'll be talking about a bit later. But for the training and for inference, for example, for heavily graphic intensive tasks, and is also browser ready and also has readiness with server-side deployment using Node.js, right? So the next thing that we want to talk about is the TensorFlow.js ecosystem. So we have on one hand the TensorFlow, which is one of the most popular machine learning-based libraries that is sort of serving as a base for the machine learning. And then we also have, since it's been written in JavaScript, it's a very versatile library that can be used in multitude of situations. And it uses WebGL, that is web accelerated graphics, that can be used for high intensive or like high intensive machine learning based applications. So the next part that I wanted to speak about is that since JavaScript is such a versatile language, it can be used in the browser with let's say Chrome, server with Node.js, on desktop using Electron.js, on mobile with React Native, IoT with Raspberry Pi support for Node.js. So since it's a very versatile language, by bringing TensorFlow.js, we can actually include machine learning as an application in all of these different platforms. And that is the main selling point or the main reason why TensorFlow.js can be used in myriad of different scenarios, because JavaScript itself is a really popular language. That is why using TensorFlow.js just makes it more accessible for machine learning to be used in multiple different platforms. And the best part is that either you can use some pre-existing models that have been built by the TensorFlow.js team that you can directly just use in your project without having any knowledge about machine learning at all. You can find these pre-built models in tensorflow.org/js/models. Some of the more popular ones include like image classification, object detection, body segmentation, NLP-based models, KNN models. So you can find all of these pre-built models directly in the TensorFlow.js org website and also on the GitHub. Then you can also use something like transfer learning to actually retrain existing models. So these are pre-built models that are can be retrained on your own data and used for your own data, right? This is utilizing the concept of transfer learning. And finally, we also can actually create our own machine learning models from scratch in JavaScript itself. And for that, we basically have two different APIs with the help of you can create your own models. Similarly to how we have TensorFlow and Keras in Python side. For example, TensorFlow is the most popular low-level API where you can actually also, edit the mathematics. Similarly, we have a low-level API called the Ops API that can help you also change the mathematical formulae and do a lot more customizations. Then you have a high-level API, for example, similarly how Keras has been built on top of TensorFlow to provide you some high-level abstraction. We have something known as the Layers API that can be utilized, that has been built on top of the Ops API and provides you functionality like Keras with which you can actually create your own machine learning based model in JavaScript. So this is like a very good example of how the flowchart actually looks like. So on top we have the pre-built models that we have. Then lower, if you go lower in abstraction, we have Layers API that is analogous to Keras model. And then finally we have the core or the Ops API, that is the low level API, which will help you either write TensorFlow based models or machine learning based models directly in JavaScript, or you can utilize something as I've already talked about, the TensorFlow JS converter that helps you convert the Python-based machine learning models into JavaScript that you can then use. And you can use them either on the client side or on the server side. With client side, you have support for the browser CPU, WebGL, and WASM, that is the WebAssembly. And on the server side, you have your Node.js servers running with support for TensorFlow CPU and TensorFlow GPU based on your server configuration. And finally, like for example, again, I've already spoken about the core API, that it is the low-level API. It is usually written in pure JavaScript, and it targets specifically the GPU via the WebGL. And again, like since it has a very low-level abstraction, you can actually write mathematical formulas, for example, linear algebra transformations as well. Then the Layers API has been built on top of the Cores API. It's inspired by Keras, and it provides you high-level abstractions of neural networks that you can directly just use without actually knowing what's going on behind in that. Then talking about the most important part, that is the TensorFlow JS converter. So basically, the TensorFlow JS converter is a function that is being provided by TensorFlow that helps you convert pre-trained. It's very important to know that these are pre-trained TensorFlow and Keras models that have been written in Python to a web-friendly format. I'll be talking about how does the format actually look like and what exactly is all going on inside the actual format. But just keep in mind that it will convert your pre-trained Python-based machine learning models, whether it's like TensorFlow model or a Keras model. Again, there's a different file format of how it converts the TensorFlow or the Keras-based model into a web-friendly model format that can be used directly with JavaScript, right? So again, so basically a TensorFlow.js is essentially an open source library that has been created by the TensorFlow.js team that uses C++ embeddings or C++ bindings. Its main source code has been written in C++, using which it is able to convert a pre-trained model. Now, that model can be of two different types. Either it can be a TensorFlow-based saved model. Whenever we save any kind of a TensorFlow machine learning-based model that has been trained, it is usually saved as a saved model. Or you can have like a Keras-based model that can be saved into a .h5 file, that is the HDF5 file format. And we can also have something called the TensorFlow Hub. Basically, TensorFlow Hub is an online platform where you can actually share and host your machine learning-based models. So you can also use the TensorFlow Hub module to basically get your pre-trained model and convert that. And once it is converted, it will be converted into a format that can be directly used with JavaScript and run into the browser and run by inference using TensorFlow.js. And the file format that we have is basically it will have a model.json that essentially has the characteristics of how the model was actually defined in Python. And then we also have, for example, in Python, we have the weights, right? Whenever we create any kind of a machine learning model, we have weights associated with them. Specifically, for example, if we're talking about neural networks, deep learning, these weights are characteristics of the properties of that neural network. And these, for example, if there's a new image that comes up, or let's say a new data that comes up, it will get utilized by these weights and then given a prediction based on the weights that have been provided by the neural network. So these weights that are in Python are converted into something called shards. These shards are basically representative of the weights of your machine learning model, and this will be built with the model.json that has the characteristics of the model itself, right? Now this is an input format. So basically, when you do, for example, pip install TensorFlow.js, it has a function called TensorFlow.js converter. And as you can see, basically, it will give you these kind of additional parameters that you have to actually add to it. So whenever you start typing in TensorFlow JS underscore converter, you have to basically give at least 4 minimum criteria. That is, what is the input format of your model, whether it's like a TF save model or let's say it's a Keras based model, and what is the output format of your model, right? So for example, if it's a save model, you will have a TensorFlow JS graph based model. If, for example, if you're using a TensorFlow based saved model, right? And then you also have to give give it the input path of the model that you have to convert. So either it's the save model or the H5 file, and then you have to also give an additional path where you will actually save the output, and the output that will be built is essentially the model.json with along with the shards or the weights. And again, the features, as I've already said, covered are the save model. Then we have something known as the frozen graph. We have the HDF5 for Keras, and then we also have the TensorFlow Hub module that can directly give you the model conversions directly from TensorFlow Hub itself. You don't need to have any additional parameters. So how do we actually use? So the first step is to have a saved model or a Keras H5 model or a session bundle or let's say frozen model to a web friendly format. So first you need to procure or have at least a saved model with you. Then you utilize the TensorFlow JS converter command to actually convert that into a web friendly format. Once you have converted that web friendly format, then you just have to load that model in your browser using JavaScript and then run it. Right? It can be run either on the front end, directly on the browser itself, or on the back end. Now I'll be giving you a short demo of how it is actually working. So I'll be quickly jumping onto this code that I have written. I will so basically it is a very simple Keras based code that I've written specifically for the PIMA dataset. So if you don't know about PIMA dataset, PIMA is a very popular diabetes dataset that basically has things like glucose level, age of a person, and its output is whether a person has the prediction, like predictability, that whether they have diabetes or not, whether they will have diabetes or not. So basically the prediction that we have to make is whether a person will have diabetes or not. So simply what I've done is that I have imported the Keras model like a sequential model because it's a neural network that I'm adding, and that I've added like a dense layer to it. The first thing that I do is that I have inputted my data set, that is the PIMA Indians diabetes dataset, and it looks something like this with its values. The last value is whether the person had diabetes or not, and all the other values are things like the weight of the person, cholesterol, and other such kind of parameters. So first what I do is that I create my model. I'm creating like a sequential model with 3 different layers, dense layers, and then I'm using the lossless function with the binary cross entropy, and as the optimizer I'm using the Adam optimizer, and then I just compile and create my model, right? And then I fit my model on the data with the number of epochs as 150 to train my machine learning model. And then once my model has been trained, I just utilize the model.predict, right? So this is a very standard Keras based approach that we are using. The first step that we need to actually do is, and then for example, in line number 34 and 35, I'm just taking out the prediction of my machine learning model. The most important thing to actually now notice is this model.save, right? So model.save is a Keras based implementation that will help you save your model, right? So it will save, it will help you save. So I've already given like it, for example, this tfjs underscore model.h5 file format. So what does that mean is that I'm saving it as a .h5 format. Specifically, since I have a Keras based model, I'll be utilizing the .h5 format. Now, coming directly into the console, let's do the first thing, and let's actually let's actually run the python.test.py so that we actually have like the h5 format, right? So it has to be python 3, sorry. So let's run this python 3 test.py. This is, which is my Python file, and I already have created the TensorFlow JS underscore model.h5 file, but I'm just showing you that it will start training itself, and then once the model has been trained, once you get the prediction, it will convert that and save that as the .h5 file, right? So as you can see that these epochs will be running, and this is what you can sort of see. I'll just sort of just wait for it to actually. So while it is training, what you can additionally do is that you can do something like pip install TensorFlow.js, because this will be a Python package that you will be requiring to use the TensorFlow.js converter. So just install pip, just use pip install again. Like I'll have to use pip3. So just use pip3 for example, just pip install TensorFlow.js, and then you can actually just utilize that to use the TensorFlow.js underscore converter function. So while this is training, or it's almost like, oh, yeah. So basically, as you can see that for me, the model has already been trained. So, or like for example, the model had been already trained. I'm just training it for your to showcase that to you. But on the side, you can also just install the TensorFlow.js pip package that is already installed for me. So once you have actually installed the pip package, I will just stop the model training over here for in case. But basically, you just have to run and save your TensorFlow.js model h5 file. Now, the next thing that you have to do is that basically I have already created that command. So the command is, you basically have to give, for example, is the TensorFlow.js underscore converter, and then the input format that I'm giving to it is the Keras, because that's the input format. And then the next thing that you see over here is the TensorFlow.js model h5 file. That is basically the model file that has been created, like basically from my Keras based model. And then I give it an output of where exactly would my TensorFlow.js converted basically model will look like, where which will have the model.json. And once I actually run this, right? So let's wait for it to actually run. So currently you see that there's no additional files, but once this actually gets converted, I'll be having a new folder by the name of the TensorFlow.js one underscore and as you can see, TensorFlow.js one underscore model. If I click on this, you can see two different files. One is the model.json. That is basically, as you can see, it's a layers model, and it has been generated by Keras, by converted by TensorFlow.js converter. So it has all the information about the actual model that we have, and it will have all the different layers. It has all the information that you can see right over here. And we have the shards, basically group one shard of this is .bin file is having the weights of the model. Now, if you want to utilize them in your HTML file, or let's say if you want to host them. So for example, I've created this sample index.html file. So there are basically, what you have to do is, for example, if you have, let's say, a Keras based model, what we have to do is that we basically load the model. So when you have actually created like a machine learning based TensorFlow-JS model, you have to actually load that model onto the browser. So we basically have this async function that will be used to load the model. And as you can see, by default, we put the model as undefined. Then I have basically used the await function to wait for my model to actually load. Now, basically, if you're using the TensorFlow.js converter, there are two different functions that you can use. Either tf.loadLayers model if you have a Keras based model, or the tf.saved model if you have a TensorFlow based model. So since I have a Keras based model, I have the load layers model, and over here I've given the link to the same model that I actually generated over here with this GitHub link. And then what we do is that once actually the model has been loaded, it will give me a console log that, hey, the model has been loaded. So just to sort of showcase this to you, I will quickly just also run this application, and I will show you how it is actually showing up. So let's say I open this index.html, and I will also at the same time open my console log. So as you can see that it has successfully actually loaded the machine learning model, as you can see right over here. So this way, like you can actually load that model now in your JavaScript file as well, using the await TensorFlow dot load layers model if it's a layers model. So that sort of brings an end to the presentation. I hope you have liked that. Just to sort of give a brief introduction about myself, I am Shivai. I'm currently a TensorFlow.js community working group member for the TensorFlow.js for India, and then I'm also Google Son of Code mentor. I'm a Google Coding mentor at TensorFlow, and you can connect with me these platforms using LinkedIn, Twitter, and GitHub. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.